Good morning, folks. I am about to show you how to make oxtails in a crock pot. Here is an oxtail. They're kind of funny looking. Step one, I've just obviously cut open the package, I rinse them off, and then I throw them in the crock pot and I start seasoning them. So that will be the next step. So here's what the open package looks like. I assume this is the tailbone of the ox. They're like little, yeah, I guess that's about the width of a tail, and then you actually see the bone inside. It's a bit fatty, but once it cooks, all that kind of melts away. It becomes the sauce, I guess. But this is what an oxtail looks like. You can see it's not terribly big, and they come in these little round packets. Once I get them in the crock pot, like so, then the next step is to season them. I still have a few more packs to open, but I just want to show you. The seasoning I like to use is, there's this Caribbean Traditions seasoning. It's called Oxtail seasoning. I had never heard of oxtails before, like a year or so ago, so I had to do a little research to figure out how to make them. It's pretty much the same way I do my pot roast in the crock pot, but with different seasonings and different vegetables. So this Caribbean Traditions Oxtail seasoning, it's by Grace. It's kind of hard to find though. I'm almost out, and I've been looking every time I go to the store, and I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna have to try a couple stores to find it. So with each layer of oxtails that I put in the crock pot, I sprinkle it with the seasoning. If I can't find, or if I run out of the oxtail seasoning, then I'm gonna use this Jamaican dried jerk seasoning. I mean, they're both, it's a Caribbean dish anyway. Of course, this will make it a little spicier. It looks similar too, but I imagine the jerk seasoning is probably hotter, but that's okay with me. So now the crock pot is full of oxtails. I've left some room so that I can add vegetables on top. You know, I also cut away some of the larger chunks of fat where I could. And so now I'm gonna layer it with black-eyed peas. I'm just using some frozen black-eyed peas. They're Southern style, whatever that means. I didn't think they had seasoning. But I'm gonna take these frozen black-eyed peas and just dump them on top of the oxtail. These bags are kind of small, so I'm using 2. And then also, they're 12-ounce bags. So I had 2 12-ounce bags, and then of black-eyed peas, and then 1 of the carrots. They're like pre-sliced with the little crinkles in them. And I just dump all that on top and break it up. The next thing I'll do is I'll add, just breaking up the carrots, I'll add a can of beef broth to help make my soupy gravy, if you will. And then I'll throw in maybe a pepper or 2, a little more seasoning, and then it's ready to cook. So here's what it looks like now. There's oxtails at the bottom, then a layer of black-eyed peas, and then the carrots on top. So now I'll add the soup, actually a little more seasoning, and then I'll add the beef broth, and then after that I just turn on the crock pot and let it cook all day. Pretty simple, not real complicated, and it tastes delicious. Hey y'all, it's been about 6 hours in the crock pot, and I'm about to check on my oxtails. I threw in some Brussels sprouts because I like to have green in all my meals. So underneath these black-eyed peas, here we have our oxtails. Now for me, when they're done, I should be able to scoop whatever meat and fat there is right off the bone without having to cut anything. So these have a ways to go because they're not, they're coming off a little bit, but I like them to just fall off.